everybody, and welcome to the Press Box. I'm Tariq Spence, filling in for Bill Pucko, and of course, it's great to have Kevin Oklobzija back. Hey, Kevin, how are you?
Couldn't be better.
Always great to have you here on the show. Now, Pat Duffy, I have a theory about the jersey, but I'll leave it and just have you explain it.
Well, I mean, a veteran of covering international hockey, as Kevin Oklobzija is, should know this is an Ireland IIHF national hockey jersey. I'm positive I'm the only person in America to own these. I have a home one and an away one because I wrote to the Irish Hockey Federation, and the guy thought I was joking when I asked him to buy a game-used sweater. So I got two of them, and I think I'm the only person in the country that has them.
Who happens to be the name on the back?
No idea who this person is. Hold on. You guys talk. I'll find out. I'll let you know.
Okay.
All right, so we were about a little less than a month away from the start of the Major League Baseball season and opening day. Has anything sort of grabbed you before we actually get to opening day thus far in spring training?
Yes, the Indians should be thankful that the baseball scouts don't look for 6 tool players, because common sense seems to escape everyone in that organization, or almost everyone in that organization. Last year they had Clevenger and Plesac, violate the COVID protocol, which sent them home from the team for they missed like a month or a week or 2 weeks, whatever it was. Now they have 2 more guys, Reyes and Ramirez, end up with one went to get a haircut, then they both went out to eat at night together. If Major League Baseball and teams have protocol in line and in order, then follow it. I don't understand. Do they not have a team meeting when the season starts and spring training starts to go over these things? Why? How hard is that to just play by the rules?
I don't understand it. It seems to be affecting a lot of other sports too, Duffy. I mean, we were talking a little bit about the All-Star game. Same thing happened to Joel Embiid and to Ben Simmons. I don't know what this is about these rules for protocols, but everybody seems to think everything is okay with COVID.
So I have a theory. Like, it's weird. There are 2 leagues, Major League Baseball and the NBA, that seem to have problems with the players following the protocols, because you've seen suspensions just for, going out and doing stuff, where the NFL and the NHL haven't really had any of those issues, not as much as the other leagues have. So are NHL players and NFL players better at following the league's protocols, or are the NHL and NFL more media savvy in just simply not investigating what the players are doing on the outside? Because you had positive tests in the NFL that were in locker rooms. We don't know where they came from. We'll never know. But I mean, it's a bad look for Major League Baseball and for the NBA when this happens. Maybe the NFL and the NHL are still having players do it. They're just not reporting it.
And if anybody thinks it's not serious, look at Rasmus Ristolainen. I mean, listening to him tell about the things he went through, he didn't just have a mild case of COVID. It wasn't like the flu. He had a severe case where he was quoted as saying, "I wasn't sure when I went to bed if I'd wake up in the morning." This is an elite athlete who got hit by this virus, and it took him down. So other players shouldn't think that it's nothing to worry about.
Well,
and
I mean,
thankfully we've come a long way from where we were. Let's just finish this season and get into a summer where we can go out and enjoy life again.
This on the verge of the fact that we're trying to get fans into the stadiums, and now the teams are coming down with more COVID cases, or at least trying to find ways to keep them as healthy as possible going forward as we're trying to reopen doors and get fans back in. Not quite sure about that. DAK Prescott, though, got a big payday. I wanted to ask you, Duffy, before you go in, you like that sort of payday? I know it's not like it or not yet, but that's a lot of money guaranteed, $126 million?
What the hell is Jerry Jones thinking, giving him 120-something million guaranteed? Like, here's what I don't get, man. Like, you would have saved a fortune paying him when they refused to the last 2-3 seasons. His foot fell off in that injury. It was horrific. It is a horrific injury. You don't know what he's going to be like when he comes back and plays again. And you guaranteed him that much money. I'm happy for Dak, man. I was worried that guy wasn't going to get his money after that injury happened. He was put in a really bad spot. But if you're the Cowboys, why? Especially the way that quarterbacks have been moving around the league the last 2 off seasons. It makes 0 sense, but it is such a Jerry Jones move.
This is like the town or the city or whatever, the community that votes down the school bill that included a pool and a rec center and a theater, and then 2 years later votes all of that in and spends like $14 million more than it would have cost if they'd done it originally. So you don't understand a lot of times, but this is the fear right now. No team that has spent 15% of their cap money on a quarterback has ever won the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
So beware Josh Allen and the Bills, because Josh is due for a big payday now, and he certainly deserves it coming off his arguably MVP season of 2020. So they got some decisions in how that money is moved around.
Which is the perfect segue as we talk Bills coming up next. You're watching the Rochester Press Box. Celebrate March Madness at the original Bay and Goodman. During the month of March, we celebrate with unlimited toppings all month long. Dine in, take out, and delivery. Order online at baygoodman.com, 620 North Winton Road at Browncroft. It's March Madness at the original Bay and Goodman. Welcome back to the Rochester Press Box. I'm Tariq Spence filling in for Bill Pucko. All right, let's go, Pat. Big payday after DAK Prescott. You know Josh Allen is rubbing his hands together saying, show me the money.
If I am Terry Pegula, I am going to Jerry Jones's house and I'm buying every egg on the way and I'm chucking it at the front door, because now you've boxed the Bills into having to spend between $40 and $45 million a year on Josh Allen. The ceiling is Mahomes. He's not going to get paid what Mahomes is, but the floor is now $40 million. And here's another thing, man. If I am the Pegulas, I'm getting this deal done as soon as possible, because Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield are also both up for deals within the next year and a half, 2 years. If one of those teams does something really stupid, and the Ravens might have to because Lamar Jackson did win an MVP 2 seasons ago, you could up the price of Josh Allen even more, because he's going to make more money than both of those guys. If I'm Brandon Beane, I am in my car, I'm driving 90 miles an hour to the agent of Josh Allen, I'm putting together a deal and have you sign it now. Kid earned his money. You can't tell him no. And behind Mahomes, guys up for contracts, who's better than him right now?
Nobody, and that's the thing. And if I'm Josh Allen's agent, I'm saying, let's see what the Browns do with Baker Mayfield first, because there is no comparison between those two. So if Baker were to get some ridiculous amount of money, then the Pegulas are going to be, they're going to be torched in another house.
Well, it's going to be.
I'm sorry, here's the saving grace with Mayfield real quick and Josh Allen. Josh Allen plays a very dangerous physical game, and I think his agents know that. You could wait this season to sign your extension to try and make more money, but God forbid, and I'm knocking on wood, Bills fans, I'm knocking on wood, something happens that alters the course of your career, get that money now, man. I mean, Kevin, what's, $3 million a year between friends, right?
That's very good. I mean, well, you make a good point. Do I need, and then then it's always the Players Association. Well, you got to get every dime that possibly, or that's possible, because that sets the bar for the next one. And it does, but how much do you need?
A lot of money spent by the Buffalo Bills within the last week. Your thoughts on Micah Hyde, Andre Smith, and the money being cut by Mitch Morris?
Well, I mean, I like a guy. I like a guy who likes where he is, understands he's making a very good living, and maybe doesn't need the maximum or what it is, and doesn't necessarily want to venture to a new market and a new pasture, and agrees that and says, you know what, I'll take less because I like it here. I like what we can do as a team. I think that says a whole lot about him and his character.
Okay, possible. And listen, I like your very open, honest, possibly naive take there, Kevin. Here is what happened. Andre Smith.
Possibly naive?
Possibly naive, and I'm going to tell you why, and I love you to death, but here's why I'm going to hurt you. This is the perfect year for the Mitch Morris situation and the Micah Hyde deal, because the cap went down $15 million. Mitch Morris was not going to make any more money than the $2 million he took cut out of his salary this upcoming season. So he was forced to take it. I'm happy he did it. Micah Hyde, same situation. You don't know what the cap looks like 2 years from now. So I can get my money now if I want it, or I can take a risk and go hit the open market. And again, you're risking injury and everything like that. Sure, Buffalo is a great place to be. Yes, the locker room is great. Yes, Kevin, you're probably right to a certain extent. These guys want to be here and would take less than somewhere else. But the way it worked out seems to me salary cap bonus for Brandon Beane.
Before we go, I wanted to ask you, that Josh Allen's rookie card went for over $200,000. Duffy, do you have one?
No, of course not. You think I'd be talking to you guys if I sold a rookie card for $200,000?
Yes, I think you would.
That? I mean, the price is absurd. It wasn't even a Gem Mint 10. It was graded a 9. And it wasn't even PSA graded. It was Beckett graded. This person's an idiot.
Highest value for a Josh Allen rookie card, whatever it is, it's over $200,000 gone that quickly.
Mahomes go for $1 billion?
I don't know. Do you have one? Like it or not, coming up next, you're watching the Rochester Press Box.
Here's the Press Box trivia question, brought to you by Market View Liquor, where exceptional customer service meets an extensive selection. Jefferson Road at 390.
All of these things show Josh Allen has a strive for greatness inside of him.
Falcon Around with Carl Falk. New episodes every Tuesday on Rock Sports Now.
Here's the Press Box trivia answer, brought to you by Market View Liquor, where exceptional customer service meets an extensive selection. Jefferson Road at 390.
Are you facing criminal charges from a DWI and feel that you never imagined it could happen to you? Contact attorneys with years of experience as prosecutors and defenders. Contact Ganguly Brothers Law today for a free consultation. You can put your trust in us. Welcome back to the Rochester Press Box. I'm Tariq Spence filling in for Bill Pucko. This segment of the Rochester Press Box, like it or not, is being brought to you by Ganguly Brothers Law Firm. Attorneys with years of experience defending the accused. Don't go unprepared with less. Contact Ganguly Brothers Law today. All right, Kevin, let's start first off with this possibility that now Joe Montana has come out and said Tom Brady is the greatest of all time. You like it or not?
It's sort of one of those duh. But I'm glad he did, because there are those who are trying to argue that Joe Montana was the greatest, and Tom Brady's proven it. I'm not sure I would have said that 4 years ago or 3 years ago, but I mean, I'm not sure what else he would have to. There's nothing more he can do to kind of cement his place. Any thoughts that his success was tied to Belichick disappeared last year, and he wanted. There's no argument. There is no argument. There's nothing to argue. Joe Montana came out and said, people, stop. He's the greatest. And Joe probably carries a little weight with a certain percentage of fans in that era. So I'm thinking more of those people now agree.
All right. Well, I mean, listen, I know how much you would love to get on this argument about Tom Brady being the greatest of all time, Pat. So I'll just leave it at that. Although Tom did grow up watching Joe Montana, idolizing him, grows up to pass him.
Yeah. No. I mean, look, to Kevin's point, what else?
Says the guy wearing an Ireland hockey jersey.
Okay, look, don't roll your eyes, Mr. Oh, I went to Sochi and I named my cat Sochi. Look.
You lost this whole point after that.
I did. I'm totally gone. I was going to say something profound finally for once in my life, and I lost it. So whatever.
About Tom Brady?
Yes, it was going to be profound and amazing. Whatever, yes, of course. To Kevin's point, what's he going to say? Of course he's the greatest of all time. It is what it is. I mean, done. I wish that Montana would have said no, because Montana does have a tendency to, just fire off his mouth and say really stupid stuff, like his time at Notre Dame and what happened with Rudy, all that stuff. I would have loved to see the reaction of, no, I'm still the greatest. You see that time I went to the Chiefs and we made the playoffs twice?
All right, Pat. Well, I got to ask you about the state of your Sabres. As sad as it may be, Captain Jack Eichel has got an upper body injury, had a lower body injury. There's trade talk last week. What do you like or what do you not like about all of these stories coming about your captain?
I mean, look, it was pretty obvious he was hurt watching the way that he was playing, right? He didn't have the burst that he had. His hands weren't working the way that they were. And the fact that, Tuesday night, when they play the Flyers, the first game without him, that top line with a rookie Dylan Cousins centering it is responsible for 3 goals in the first period when they hadn't scored on Philly in the 2 games previous they had played. Here's what I'm hoping. I know he's not going to be traded this season. It's not going to happen at the trade deadline. There's too many complications with salary cap stuff. I hope by the time this season is over, if there is a new coach in place, if you have an idea of who's going to be here next year, the trade talk quiets down. Because again, it's not worth trading him. You're going to get pennies on the dollar, especially right now when all the other GMs, Kevin, you can attest to this, have to be looking at the Sabres situation and licking their chops as far as what they can get over on a rookie general manager in Kevin Adams.
Very true. And it's Kevin Adams has decisions to make. What do I do? The previous regime had a plan in place for a succession with the coach. That blew up when, the new GM came in. What difference does it make right now to change coaches? Do you want to pay a guy $4 million next year to do nothing? They're pretty good at that. They paid a general manager, and they still are paying a general manager to do nothing for them. So they're pretty used to paying people for not working for them. But the season's lost. It's gone. So I'm not sure what a coaching change really would do, other than appease a few fans, maybe a lot of fans, and I don't know, maybe start to change the direction of whatever that team is on. But it's a hopeless case again, and it's so sad that for 10 years they have just been idling in place or going backwards.
Unfinished business coming up next. You're watching the Rochester. The Press Box Stat of the Week is being brought to you by McArdle's Restaurant in Fairport. McArdle's is open 7 days a week with dining available indoors and out, takeout and delivery. Come home to McArdle's.
And now to Eichel. He floated one.
Welcome back to the Rochester Press Box. Tariq Spence filling in for Bill Pucko. And of course, unfinished business. Pat Duffy fires off first.
The Bills announced earlier this week that season ticket prices are going up. Box office prices are going up, and you saw that coming. They went to the AFC Championship game. Still, with the price increases, Bills tickets are amongst the least expensive in the NFL. And to all of you folks that plan on buying individual game Bills tickets that are upset that they're going to be a little more expensive, I've got good news and I got bad news. The good news is you're not going to have to pay the increased box office prices that the Bills laid out yesterday, because the bad news is you're going to be paying a heck of a lot more. The Buffalo Bills don't release how many season ticket holders they have inside that stadium, but based on the season they had and the amount of people personally I know that decided to go get season tickets, it's a lot, which means it's a smaller number of tickets that'll be released to the general public, which means if you want to get in that stadium this season to see this Bills team, you're going to have to do it most likely on the secondary market. And it's been a whole year without games, and this team looks like it's going to be really, really good. And if you think you are getting in that ballpark for anywhere near face value. Let's just put it this way. 2 years ago, when the undefeated Ravens came to town, my season tickets that cost me about $68 a seat were going through for $300 a piece. That was in the middle of a season where they might have made the playoffs at that point. Open up your wallet if you want to see them, because you ain't paying the Bills. You're paying Steve, who paid the Bills first.
So the Buffalo Sabres are bad again. Really, really, really bad yet again. And I'm not quite sure what it's going to take for that organization to get it. But in firing Jason Botterill as their general manager and bringing in Kevin Adams, they are right back to square one again. They have gained nothing. There's no progress. And whatever plan there was in place under Jason Botterill has now been scrapped so Kevin Adams can put his plan into place. That obviously will include a new coach and a new direction and perhaps some new style of players. But for 10 years, the Sabres have been a disgrace. And it's impossible to understand how this could still go on and still be going on. Yet somehow, here we are with an organization in complete disarray. It's I don't even have words. It's impossible to understand.
Rochester native Maia Chaka will be the first black woman to officiate an NFL game. This is a great and unprecedented moment in women's history and women's sports as we celebrate Women's History Month. But I want to go back to what she said, what was so important. Of course, Chaka put in all of the work, the diligent effort to work from high school game, the college, Division I college, now to the NFL. And it's to be commended what she's been able to do. But she gave credit to the Boys and Girls Club, a program that she said was a big and vital part of her life, especially in her preteens. I often wonder about these programs now because, of course, we're facing a lot of budget restrictions and programs that could be cut and hit hard by the bottom line going forward with everything going on with COVID-19, which is why I'm so proud to see so many players playing Section 5, whether it's high school basketball or swimming or soccer or whatever it may be going on with football starting soon when it comes to the spring season. I just hope that with this inspiration that Chaka gives, that people understand that the program you're cutting will have possible damages down the line. So maybe it shouldn't be cut so we can have new and better leadership further down the line. I applaud Chaka for all the hard work that she's put into. I give credit to her. She gives credit to a program that wasn't cut in the Boys and Girls Club. That's unfinished business. Of course, Kevin Oklobzija, thank you for the time and your passion too. I appreciate that.
Hey, it's just it's what I do.
Pat Duffy, I just look forward to seeing you on Wednesday for St. Patrick's Day, and I hope that that jersey is clean on that day as well. That is the Rochester Press Box. I'm Tariq Spence. Have a great day.